coming up locally that everybody can go to, and I highly recommend it. Right here in Tacoma, the Taste of Tacoma, they have the 96.5 Jack FM Comedy Club, and Saturday, June 26th, and Sunday, June 27th, 2 to 2:30, you can see Joe Larson do his thing right down here at Point Defiance, and that's always a great time, and hopefully the weather will be good.
2 to 2:30. That's when comedy happens.
That is, right? that is the coveted slot.
Right in the middle of the day, you shake off that hangover, grab a cup of coffee, and
laugh it up. Yes, and then also Saturday 26th, you'll be pulling double duty with your dad at Laughs in Kirkland. They'll be performing together, and that's going to be a great show. I think everybody should try to head out. I hope there's tickets still left for that.
I think there are some tickets still left. You can go on the website laughscomedy.com and pick up tickets. It's going to be a fantastic show. We also have another amazing, great Northwest comic MC in the show. He's one of my best friends, and he's a really funny comic guy named Brian Boucher. Hysterically funny, and you guys, he adds to the show big time. It's going to be a great night.
Great. Well, everybody try to get out there, and the Taste of Tacoma is free, and then the one at Laughs, you have to buy tickets, but please just drop it down and go have some fun. I just want to ask you, Elliot, about the cruise line. That seems to be your recent gig, and you are like, from what all reports I've heard, and I have never taken a cruise, I do vacations differently, but from what I've heard, you are the king.
Drinking in the garage?
Yeah. Well, everybody has their own idea of vacation. But if I'm going to take a cruise,
don't bother me. I'm going on vacation.
See you in a week. Yeah. Knock before you enter. The cruise line ship. That's that whole industry is got to be amazing because you have people coming from all walks of life and all different places around the world to get on a boat and go in some water, and then there you are to entertain them.
Well, the thing is about the cruise too, though, is that if you want to see me perform there, it's about $2,000 or $3,000. So it's a little bit
you're
more
worth every dime
than if you just went out to Kirkland. But yeah, it's a different way to perform because now, Joe, you did this too in New York. You worked at Ha, which was a tourist conglomeration. So it's the same thing on a cruise that you get people. Well, first off, I get kids that are like, you get babies, the little kids to their grandparents, to their parents all at once, and trying to come up with something that makes them all laugh at the same time is pretty
challenging.
Yeah, challenging.
Yeah.
But I find a lot of fun, the challenge of doing that.
He had a great story about one cruise ship where they had 300 French people on board, and they all came to the show, which is disconcerting because no one's laughing because they have no idea what's going on. You know,
they thought you were the cartoonist.
But being traditionally French, which you know are always polite people, they all got up and made a big deal out of walking out.
Threw their noses in the air.
Oh, yeah. They're,
no.
As if I'd done some personal affront by not learning French.
I've been up to French Canada parts, and they were interesting. But so being on the cruise, it has to be a fairly captive audience.
Well, it's a captive audience, but you're also captive. And if they don't like you, in a nightclub, you just go out the back door. If they're not, and it's going to happen sometimes. If they don't like you on a cruise, you got to get up the next morning and have breakfast with these people.
That's true.
I had one where it was a Christmas cruise, and these are notoriously bad. I think the reason they're bad is because people who go on a cruise at Christmas are the people that their own families wouldn't have them over to the house for. So they said, let's send Grandma and Grandpa on a cruise because we can't stand them for the holidays.
Next year, my sisters and I are saving up money to send my mom and dad on a cruise.
When he doesn't have to perform on.
Yeah.
And I ended up hiding in my room after this show for an entire week from these people. You couldn't even go out in public without them trying to attack you. It was just
that would be crazy. And so now, when you're on shore, are you still? I know we're performing on the 26th at Laughs in Kirkland. Do you still do stuff around town?
I do work around town once in a while, but the last 8 years, I've been working probably 9-10 months of the year on cruises.
And the best cruise line to go on?
Holland America.
Absolutely. Ding, little plug there.
Ching, ching, ching. He gets $20 every time he says that. You got to keep plugging that.
Yeah, keep talking that
Holland America.
And you're also quite the author. You have several books. Tell us about some of these books.
Oh, they're collections of jokes. I've got one out now called The Official Cruise Ship Joke Book. And
But he sells on Holland America.
Holland America Cruise Line. And
We're not paying that 20. I'll just tell you that right now.
actually, I put this together because I'm a lousy joke teller. If you said, tell a joke, I can't tell a joke to save my life. Stand-up comedy isn't really telling jokes. And it's I don't know what you'd call it, but it's, if you watch it, you go, oh yeah, he's not exactly telling a joke like Uncle Bob tells a joke. What will happen is people come up to me after a show on a ship and then tell me a joke and expect me to tell them one in return. So instead of embarrassing myself like that, what I did was I just collected all the jokes that people had told me on the ship and then put them all in a book.
Yeah,
so,
make money off them.
Yeah.
Good.
All right.
Now, Joe, tell me about you were voted the best college comedian of the year. Was that last year?
It was a couple years back.
A couple years back.
Vegas.
And so obviously you went on the college circuit to be nominated. Tell us some stories about, or give us one of your most bizarre moments in front of a college crowd. College crowds are notorious for being out of control and or acting like they're smarter than you or whatever. There's got to be some time where you were on stage and you're like, this is just not happening.
Oh, that's most nights.
You should tell them about the prom thing you were telling me on the way up. That was hilarious.
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing. In New York, you get all these prom shows, and so all these kids after prom, they come and they have a show. Which high school kids after prom, great audience. Most of the shows start around 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. Like, so
right.
Everyone's exhausted, and the kids they don't realize what's going to happen to them. You're watching a guy walk across the street knowing he's going to get hit by a train. And you can't, because these kids, they took a limo, right? And they're dressed in the nicest clothes they've ever worn, maybe will ever wear. They ate a fancy, wonderful dinner because their parents paid for it. And now they're at Caroline's Comedy Club and watching people who've been on Comedy Central, and it's prom, so they're all getting laid and they're happy and they're excited, right? And they don't realize that next year they're going to go to college. And they're going to eat top ramen and wear the same shorts for 5 days. They're screwed. They're going to get screwed, right? And so you don't know what to tell these because they're on top of the world. And what's also funny is you realize that there's cool kids and then there's the people that are going to be cool later.
Exactly.
Right? You see,
yes.
And you can always tell there's an equal proportion. If you go, by a round of applause, who here is drunk? And then there's a group that'll clap that's drunk, right? And then if you go, by a round of applause, who here will be attending community college next year? Same group. Always the same group, right? Yeah. Always the same group.
That's awesome. Now, tell me about some of your, especially you, Elliot, starting back in '76. Who were some of the people you looked up to and admired in comedy?
Back then, pretty much the people who are famous today. I just kind of by a fluke ended up in San Francisco and LA at the very start of when all the people. I was down there. I watched Letterman MC the shows at the Comedy Store. Jay Leno, Jay actually helped me at one time. He was writing for Jimmy Walker. I don't know if you remember Jimmy J.J. Walker.
Jimmy J.J. Walker. Yeah, that's right.
He was the big guy then, and everyone who was poor, like Jay Leno and myself and all these other guys, would write for him and sell him jokes. And so Jay helped me fill out a joke resume for Jimmy Walker one time, and
wow.
And Jay was probably 25 at the time, but he had a pipe, and he was trying to be the old cool guy. It was hilarious. So just about anybody you might have seen anywhere.
Red Fox.
No, Fox is from a whole different generation.
Yeah.
Red is like
a little earlier.
Yeah.
My parents took me to see, because we always watched Sanford and Son, and we were driving up here from Texas one time, and we stopped in Vegas, and Red Fox was playing like the Sands or something. My parents are very conservative.
Wow.
So I was like, Dad, that's Sanford.
I know where you're going with this one too.
My folks bought tickets. We were in there, and we were out in 5 minutes.
I went to see Carlin down at the Circle Star Theater. I think it is just south of San Francisco. It's
right.
theater in the round. The week before, they had Red Fox out, and it was the same thing. Sanford and Son and an entire white audience went out to see Red Fox. Red Fox's show is the filthiest
Absolutely.
thing on the face of the planet because he worked the Chitlin circuit, which was designed just for that. And 3,000 white people came, sat down,